Well, I am very excited about this reunion. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and seeing Norm Eisen again on a very interesting anniversary because today Trump was in court for his criminal appeal. I'm going to move past this portion of it very soon because we have much to talk about with Elon Musk. However, Norm and I went to court. Every day for 6 weeks sometime last year, watching Trump's criminal trial, which he was in the Second Circuit trying to get some procedural or perceived procedural advantage by transferring the case to federal court, where Trump glared at my friend and former editor, Norm Eisen, in court right here. And so, to just start things off, Norm, uh, now that we're 1 year away, without getting into the intricacies of the appeal, I'll go into some of that some other time. What do you take away 1 year later from everything that we saw in court every day for 6 weeks?
When you elect a 34 times over convicted felon, what you get is a lot of illegality in his everyday operations. And we've seen that. We've never seen anything like this, Adam. There are now almost 200 court orders stopping various portions of his agenda. And it's just a flagrant disregard for the rule of law that I think characterizes the Trump administration. And they've moved in that from the uh, problems of the first Trump administration, which I thought was bad, to something far, far worse. It really is an American autocracy. He's a wannabe dictator, and the courts are stopping him from achieving that objective.
Right. And when, as you pointed out throughout Trump's criminal trial, the what that was fundamentally about was his attempt to illegally influence an election, and that's what the jury found. And it goes on up till today with the law breaking and lawlessness as courts are finding. Want to talk to you about some of what you have done to hold the Trump administration into account. Some of the viewers might not know, we actually first met in Washington, D.C., on Capitol Hill when Norm was holding the Trump administration into account then as a co-counsel in the House Judiciary Committee for Trump's first impeachment. You have a couple of cases pending before Trump and Elon Musk, which we're going to, and now for the contrarian, through the journalism there. Can you talk to me about the state of your lawsuits against the Trump administration, Elon Musk, and the kind of civil exposure that awaits Elon Musk, no matter whether he fails to reingratiate himself into the Trump White House?
Well, we've had a docket of cases involving Musk and or Doge. We had a mini trial on Doge's mishandling of databases involving millions of Americans who've worked for, do work for, applied to work for the federal government. And we just got a 99-page order granting a preliminary injunction in that case, finding likelihood of success on the merits that the law was flagrantly violated in those willy-nilly first days of the chainsaw Doge and Musk assault on government. We've litigated a large number of others at Democracy Defenders Fund, Adam. We've opened almost 100 legal matters, principally civil, regulatory, criminal defense, representing individuals in employment wrongly fired in this first interregnum, these first months of the of the Trump administration, and a substantial number have included Elon Musk. The latest one was to seek an injunction for the Musk campaign actions, where Musk makes payments to citizens of states in parallel with electoral activities. We filed that lawsuit in Wisconsin today, seeking to make sure that that pattern does not recur. That's the objective. As you say, that prosecution of Donald Trump was for election interference and for covering it up. And we want to make sure that there's nothing that transpires with Donald Trump or otherwise that affects the confidence that folks have in their elections. And that's what our latest Musk action is about. We don't think those sums of money should be moving through at in and around election time.
Right. So, right, I mentioned this a little bit earlier that Elon Musk and Donald Trump had a sort of falling out, and then he Musk deleted all of his tweets against Trump and seems to be trying to ingratiate himself. Regardless of whether or not that works for him in the administration, what civil liability awaits him? What are the consequences that even if he's out of government and out of Trump's
Yeah.
protective wing, what's next for him?
This is a question that that folks have had, because in all of these cases in which Musk is a defendant for conduct while he was in government, people say, well, I deleted some of the Trump tweets, not all of the Trump tweets. And people say, well, now that he appears to be out of government, I mean, folks don't know 100%. He appears to be out of government. Does that mean he's going to drop out of these cases? Um, and the answer is, because the cases concern conduct that he was involved in, um, I think that you're going to see that the cases continue, that these cases will move to discovery. There'll be discovery involving Elon Musk. I think you're going to find a series of outcomes like the outcome that we achieved, the preliminary injunction, the mini trial that found the likelihood that Doge's conduct directed. We know Doge was the brainchild of Elon Musk, was formulated by Elon Musk. In this case, they found the Doge conduct was illegal. So we're going to continue to see Musk be a part of these cases. The greatest issue that we have to look for is Donald Trump has threatened Elon Musk now in their breakup several times. And that could create substantial liability issues for Mr. Musk. We've issued a big report at Democracy Defenders Action laying out all of the different ways that Trump could expose Musk to risk if he investigates SpaceX or X or XAI or Tesla, if he pulls government contracts, if he investigates Musk. On the other hand, Trump has some risk too, because the government has become very reliant on Elon Musk. And so that's a two-edged sword.
Mhm. Right. They could fight each other to a very fateful draw. Breaking news that I want you to react to. There's apparently the Trump administration filed their brief in everything that's going on in Los Angeles. And the position that they have taken is that they don't need the consent of the governor to send in the troops. Your reaction to that and how that will fare in court tomorrow?
Well, Adam, as you know, it's normal that when the National Guard is deployed, that there is a gubernatorial approval and direction. It's very unusual to have an override under this statute. I don't think that the conduct of Donald Trump is proper here on that count. But most fundamentally, he should have gotten the governor's consent. The statute says shall, not
Right.
maybe. It says shall. So we'll see what Judge Breyer, not Justice Breyer, we'll see what Judge Breyer, Charles Breyer, Justice Breyer's brother, very independent jurist in San Francisco. We'll see what he does with that question. More fundamentally, if you look at the statute here, 10 United States Code, Section 12406, it requires there to be a rebellion or the equivalent in order to assume this extraordinary authority under this statute to deploy troops. The Insurrection Act and other statutes have not been implicated. And just like in all those Alien Enemies Act cases that require an invasion, where court after court, I count 4 courts now, including Trump appointed judges, have said, invasion? What invasion? Here too, you say rebellion. Come on, a largely peaceful protest with line dancing and hot dog vendors does not constitute a rebellion, even if 1 or 2 uh, irresponsible people took individual acts. That's not a rebellion. So I think there's been a little bit of distortion. The TV is so sensationalized. They run to those pictures of a Waymo taxi in flames, but that has actually been a very small part. If you quantified the total amount of peaceful protest that's been lawful, peaceful, and even joyful at times. So there is no rebellion. We'll see what the judge does. It's on a TRO posture. That's a very steep hurdle, but I don't. But I think the governor has the best of the arguments. Nevertheless, I learned a long time ago in these tough cases, a lot of issues, no precedent. You need to be cautious about predicting things. But reading these 2 briefs, the governor has the best of the argument.
Mm. I know your time is short, Norm, so I'll just leave this on the last question. I was speaking to your co-founder of the Contrarian, Jen Rubin, recently on this issue. She had noted during our discussion we talked about the fact that we are coming up on the No Kings protest, and that there in Trump's proclamation is no geographic or time limitation to this order, federalizing the National Guard and militarizing the response to protests. How should protesters prepare themselves and respond to the threat from this administration?
Protesters should know their rights. They should always remain peaceful. They should stay safe, exercise their activities. Those No Kings protests are in a large number of other places. They're not centered in D.C. Philadelphia is the headquarters of the No Kings protests. And just like a hands-off day where I was privileged to participate and speak, the home base of it was in D.C. We had about 100,000 people. It was peaceful, it was lawful, it was often joyful. And so if you subtract really just a handful of knuckleheads out of the LA situation, it would be the same thing. And No Kings folks should show up with that peaceful mindset. And I think they will. I think it'll be an affirmation. You're going to see a lot of American flags. It's going to be an affirmation of one of our most prized constitutional rights, First Amendment rights, and freedom, the freedom of assembly, the freedom to be together, to express our loyalty to the Constitution and not to a king.
That's a great note to end on. And I will say a statistic that I see one of the commentators already noted there. She said 1,600 protests. I heard 1,800. That could be rising by the moment. And there are lots of dots on that map globally. Thank you for your time. And thank you for joining. This has been a real pleasure.
Thanks for having me, Adam. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.